10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, hi everybody. It's Lori Peterson with the CFAA Film Talk, brought to you by the Capital Film Arts Alliance. And once again, just to have a cool conversation, keeping you up to speed with people that are in your region doing great things to develop film in our marketplace. And to really find a way to keep people connected, because as you remember, and I hope most of you do, even though, God, it's been so long, we have regular meetings for our filmmakers and our writers and our actors, typically in person, that allow that kind of networking to take place. And so now, of course, we have to find different ways of doing that. And we are. So we're happy that you're here. We're happy that you're joining us. And tonight we're talking specifically to our film commissioner, Jennifer West, who is coming up on, holy moly, 2 years in her job as of this January. Time has flown by so much. She's got some really cool things that have been developed, and she's going to share with us, in addition to just give us a state of the industry, you know, what's happening, what kind of things has she been working on, anything that we can do to really bring you up to speed and just have a conversation. So anything that you have to talk about, please submit a question or give a shout out in the comments field, because we'll share that with Jennifer. If it's a specific question, she can answer it live. And so she's going to be speaking about the new grant program that had been developed for Sacramento filmmakers. And that's where I really want to get your input or any of your questions ironed out while she's here. When she's live, get her to answer. And so other than that, what I want to share with you is we have coming up on November 9th, we're going to be doing another webcast with award-winning, just graduated student filmmaker Alex Greenlee. Many of you know him from the work that he's done locally, and so he'll be here on the webcast on the 9th of November. So mark your calendar for that, and we'll be sending out notifications. The CFAA is so grateful, so thankful for all of you who support us, whether it's through donations or whether it's through memberships. My birthday is this week, and many of you have submitted to our Facebook birthday fundraiser, and I appreciate that so much. And apparently there's a glitch in that system. Right now, people are trying to donate and they haven't been able to, and I'm not sure what's up with that. But you can go directly to the capitalfilmarts.org website, and you can submit any amount. So, as I said to anybody I know, don't buy me a card. Put that $4.99 into putting in information or putting your support towards the CFAA. Okay, get off that soapbox. Thank you very much. And I appreciate being able to spend my birth week with you. So with no further ado, I want to bring on our guest speaker tonight. We've got Jennifer West with the Film Commission. Hello.
Hello. Hey, I didn't know it was your birthday week. Happy birthday week.
It is. Yeah. October is like, we've got, I don't know, half a dozen people that are the closest people to me in the world that all have their birthdays at the same time. So I end up spending so much time planning on how I'm going to celebrate theirs that mine kind of comes and goes, and I forget about it. So.
Well, happy birthday. And I don't know if you've purchased a birthday card recently, but they are not $4.99 anymore. They're more like $7.99. So
I don't get that.
Give more. Give more if you can.
Give more if you can. Yeah. No, we appreciate it. And we've got some pretty exciting things that we are developing that will be able to allow us to put that money to good use. So even more so, it'll be really appreciated. And what else do we? Oh, you know what I forgot to tell everybody? Our screenwriters group meets on the 4th Tuesday of every month. They're meeting tomorrow night on the 26th. So if you are interested in participating in that or knowing more, you can email scripts@capitalfilmarts.org. Jack and Rick will take care of you and make sure that you get the link to be able to join that online meeting. So I'm so sorry. I just wanted to shove that in before we got.
No, it's awesome. I was actually going to ask you, do they meet in person yet? But I guess we're still meeting virtually. Here we are.
Yeah, we haven't. I mean, we lost our location for meetings. We've been looking elsewhere, but we're also just being very strategic about when and where and how and what. And we're just not there yet. You know, I know you've seen that in organizations you're working with too, where it's still kind of a hybrid world.
Right.
And
Well, I think what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, I think that most of the world is going to, from now on, be partially hybrid. I mean, I think that it's a different world now. People have learned how to live in that, you know? So
yeah,
it's gonna be interesting.
we hope. And actually that's one of the things that I really, at the point that we feel like it's safe to do so and to find the right place to have, if it's not a continual regular event like we were doing, to at least have a mixer of people in the community that are really truly the best at their, jobs, and they really need to connect with each other. We want to give them that opportunity to do that.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's been hard for me. I mean, it's been almost 2 years, and there's still people that I haven't met in person. I mean, or like I'll go to a set and I'll meet somebody, and like it takes me, I don't know about you guys, but it takes me like 3 or 4 times before I finally will like remember that person's name with that face, right? And so being on Zoom for almost 2 years, you don't get that, so it's like I know the Zoom face, but that's it. I'll go to a meeting for a coffee meeting or something, and it's like I don't know who I'm looking for because I've only ever seen them on Zoom. So it's crazy, but we'll get back there.
Yeah, it's the suckiest, but at the same time, it's like the little engine that could.
Yeah,
just gotta keep plugging away and doing everything that we can to make sure that is all the ducks are in a row. Okay, so just in general, before we get starting to talk about your big announcement, I really just want to get kind of an update from you on your perspective. You came in to Sacramento in January of 2019 and 2020. And literally have had, well, maybe 3 good months out of that to effectively work normally.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's been COVID, but you've certainly done a lot to keep people connected and kind of find ways to bring them together. But what's your perspective on your role in Sacramento as a film industry and what we kind of built as a starting point, and what are your thoughts about that now that you're this deep into it?
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. So yeah, just getting off the ground the first few months, and then we went into COVID, and I've said it many times, but in a way it allowed me that breath, those 2.5, 3 months of being shut down to sort of get the website up and running and make the connections I needed to make. And then from there, when film opened up in June of 2020, it's been gangbusters ever since. So people were ready to get back to work. And I think it's been amazing that we've been able to do it safely. And as far as I know, there hasn't been one COVID case that's come out of a film set in Sacramento. Not that has been brought to my attention anyway. So I think, that we've, the community's done a really great job in keeping everybody safe. So thank you to you out there who are on the boots on the ground doing this work.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I was going to throw out some stats, but I have to put my glasses on. So last year we did, there were 60 projects that we permitted. And this year already we're at 90. So that just shows you that, I mean, yeah, we were shut down for 3 months, but we still, like, in 2020, we did the exact same permit that they did in 2019 before I came in. So even though we were shut down, we didn't lose any time, and actually there was more filming here. So now in 2020, to be at almost 90 permits, you know, I mean, my goal I think for this year was 100, and you know, to be that close is great. I know that towards the end of the year is when things start to slow down, so I anticipate a slowdown. But I will say that you know, it was funny. It was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, why am I not getting any calls? What is going on? Like, what's happening? And then I was like, oh, the like looming IATSE strike, right? And I think people just sort of pulled back and were waiting to see what was going to happen with that before they moved forward with any of the projects. So that seems to be like, I know, even though it's not a done deal, it seems like people are like, okay, let's move forward. So I am getting more calls now. But yeah, so I mean, that's pretty exciting to be at 90, you know, permits for the year, kicking butt from last year. A lot of that, I will say, has come from the design show that's in town, because they're shooting, you know, every 2 weeks they renew their permit, right? And they've been here since April. So not only through like hotel nights and number of permits and film days and all of that, but they've sort of just like helped us get over the hump. And so I'm hoping that like we get another show like that next year, because they've been amazing, and they're really great to work with. They're super easy. It was not an easy lift for them having to, you know, redo 7 homes in the Sacramento area, and they are coming to the end. I think they're done filming next week. So
is this a big table? A big table?
No, this was it's ITV, HGTV show. So yeah. And so that'll be exciting. Hopefully, you know, they'll start doing promos and stuff pretty soon, which would be great. I mean, I'm excited to see, you know, what, because originally when it was pitched, it was, you know, that they would be showing a lot of Sacramento, you know, and the area and what Sacramento has to offer and all that great stuff. So yeah, hopefully it'll, you know, come down to that. But we're doing great. We're at like, last year we did $1,450,000 in Sacramento spend. This year we're over 2 million already. So it's fantastic. You guys are kicking butt. We've had 2 feature films shoot entirely in Sacramento, so that was awesome.
Tell us a little bit about those. What can you share with folks on those programs?
Well, they're the 2 different projects are from people who are from Sacramento. And so one living out of town brought it back to Sacramento to shoot here, and hired a bunch of local crew, and, you know, hopefully had a great experience. And then the other one is Howard Bird and Marcus Allen. So they just finished up their film too, their next project, which I think is like their 6th film they've done in the area. So yeah, so that was cool. And then of course we just, you know, we still have just tons of commercials that come through, and episodes and reality TV in the area that'll occasionally dip in and do stuff in Sacramento. So I think like Mama's Boy, even though it was filming up in like Antelope or something, they came into Sacramento quite a few times to just do like the beauty shots and walk around downtown and that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so it's, you know, I mean, and then like hotel nights were blowing, you know, out last year's by so much. Like, I think we had like 350 hotel room nights last year. Right now we're already at 500. So it's, yeah, so we're doing good. I mean, numbers wise, it's looking great, to be perfectly honest. And it's just, I mean, I feel like it's been a good year. I feel like, the bump we got, it's interesting when we opened in 2020, San Francisco wasn't open yet. And so a lot of those commercials came here, and we got a bump from that. And I was really hoping that bump would translate into more people wanting to film here in Sacramento, because a lot of those location managers were like, we love Sacramento. This is great. You know, people people are excited for us to be filming here, whereas like in San Francisco, you know, they're like, oh my God, they're filming again, you know, and it's kind of like more of an inconvenience. I think where in like Sacramento, I think people are excited to see what's
Oh,
going
yeah.
on. But anyway, so you know, I sent out the grant information to all of the location managers that I'm in contact with and all that. And so hopefully, you know, they'll take advantage of it because it's a really good opportunity.
That's great. That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good for everybody to know that you're out there kicking it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, so along with the grant that that I developed this year, or there was a lot of people that actually had some input on it, so it was really great. My advisory committee, for one, and Quinn Gardner, who was my volunteer last year, originally helped me sort of develop it, and then he actually wound up going out and being in the business now, so he's working here locally. But yeah, lots of people helped me develop it. And so that was sort of like our big thing that we finally got it off the ground. Very exciting. And then the other thing that I was working on this year was the internship with Sac State. So we went through the whole process. We got it to be an accredited internship so that, you know, the students will come whenever I'm in the office and, you know, get to work hands-on and see how the office works. And then I'm hoping to have them take Robin's PA course. And then once they take that and pass it and, you know, we feel good about it, then putting them out hopefully on sets of actual productions to sort of give them that hands-on, you know, experience. And then of course, you know, Sac State, much like the grant program, which is a pilot program, the internship program is a pilot program with Sac State. So, you know, I'll hopefully get like a year under my belt with that program and then be able to take it out to the other colleges in the area. So, yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, I love, we're coming around the bend to finalizing a program to offer Robin's course and also to work with her to create upcoming courses for other positions. But it's really just a perfect streamlined education for anybody who wants to get into the business and who doesn't know how. You learn so much in that, you know, 5-hour course. It's so worth it. And by being able to say you've completed that course, I think it just gives you a little bit more of a high up than anybody who's been on any kind of an indie set, because you really learn the basic important elements of what it takes to be successful. And anybody that comes on set as a PA and is successful will find that path open. There is so much opportunity, and you will not stay in that position any longer than you want to because the demand is so great. They just want people to know. So I love that.
Yeah. Well, so let's get down and dirty, talk about the grant.
Yeah, so
it's an amazing program that we developed.
One of the things that we talked about in creating, you know, your position was somebody who could drive and create and do something innovative with film incentives, because that was one of the things we needed to be able to have in our tool bag to work with. So I'm super excited that you're here to share that that's been done.
Yeah, and again, it is, you know, it's a pilot program. It's just the beginning, but it's how we get the numbers from this pilot program, go back to city council and city manager and say, look, it worked and it brought more film to Sacramento, and now give us more money so we can have a bigger incentive or a different incentive, that sort of thing. So no, super excited about it. So yes, right now the first round is open. It's 4 grants of $5,000 and 1 grant of $2,500 for post-production. So 2 grants to projects above 100,000, 2 projects to projects below 100,000, and 1 for post-production. And, you know, reading the guidelines, if you go to our page at filmsac.com, and at the very top on the banner is like a direct link to our guidelines. And then you can also go to the grants page, and it has the guidelines and the application. So that is, the deadline is November 30th. So please read the guidelines first. If you have any questions, email me, call me, whatever. I've already answered a ton of questions from people. And in fact, it's helping me when you have questions because it is a pilot program, I'm realizing like, oh, somebody said like, because it says you have to be, you can't have started principal photography before you get the grant, right? So you need to apply for the grant, then start principal photography. This isn't like an after the fact grant, like, oh, I shot it here this summer, can I get the grant? No. But it wasn't clear in there that no, you don't have to, for the post-production grant, you don't have to have not started. So if you've got a project in the can that you need edited, and you absolutely apply for the post-production grant. So but anyway, that's sort of, and basically the grant is, twofold. I mean, the sort of anticipate that the above the 100 grand will hopefully come from feature films or large commercials or TV projects outside of the area, or somebody local like, Howard and Marcus Allen. But that they've got their funding, that they're ready to go. And this is just an additional boost. I mean, I get that $5,000 is not a lot of money if you've got like, a $250,000 budget, but it's something, right? And it's something to begin with. And so that money could be put towards police, fire, permit fees, all of the internal city services that we offer, or the fees that we charge for parking, that sort of thing. And then, and then the other is the actual reimbursement on other expenses that you've incurred in the city of Sacramento.
Yeah, I think it's not a matter at this point of evaluating it based on the amount. It's the fact that this is the first time it's been created by the first full-time film officer. I mean, it really sets a precedent for where we want to go and how we're going to get there. I think everybody that shoots here that doesn't live here has a great experience. It's just a matter of time before we hear that, coming back to us, or the people that live locally that are working out of the region, because that's where a lot of the paid work is. They are working hard to bring a lot of that production back to Sacramento.
And a lot of those people, I've talked to this week, a lot of those people who work here locally are like, I have my own project that I want to do. And now that there's this grant, oh my gosh, like I could tap into that, to that money. And so that's what I want. It's like, I want this community to be able to feel like, yes, they are supported here. They, this is a small incentive. Please shoot your film here. Let's get these, these stories told. And more importantly, there's, if you read the rubric, it's also about, marginalized communities. And is your crew, is it multiracial? Is your story about, a marginalized community, or that sort of thing? So we're really encouraging those stories to be told as well. And so there's room in the rubric for the panel when they go to, to judge the applicant, the grant applications, for them to say, yeah, this one's like really cool, like, because it checks all of these boxes. It's not just about, it's like there's the economic impact component of the grant, but then there's also the community impact of the grant. And, Sacramento being one of the most, diverse areas to live, we want to tell those stories. So.
Right. Yeah, that's actually one of those areas that we've talked a lot just within the CFAA about how do we ensure we are creating programs that are really reaching out and helping underserved communities, and how can we do that? As you're working with Sac State on the internship program, I love that can open a door for conversations of a different type to make sure that we're including the local campuses with the community action and advocacy when it comes to film and their voices. I mean, we have to recognize that they are the future. They are going to be running this industry. And so the sooner that we can get them on board and working with us, the better. I know that a lot of the work that's being done that holds a lot of promise is geared towards high school students. And that just jazzes me because that's reaching even deeper into the well to pick out those that will, are ready to rise to the top already.
Yeah.
Kind of cool to see when that happens. And
It's all in the works. Trust me. It's all coming together. There's so many. I mean, if you look at the 5-year plan, I was astonished how much I checked off, for the first year. And it's like, I can't wait to go back at the end of this year and be like, what else did we do? What else did we do? And, it's all there. Like, for a while there, I felt really overwhelmed because it was so much to take on. That it was hard to concentrate on just one thing, but I finally had to just be like, no, this is what I'm moving forward with right now. This is what's most important. So anyway, super happy the grant's here. I'm happy to answer any questions. If there's anybody, I can't see the Facebook Live, or I would scroll through and see, but
we've been posting a lot of the details. And Jamie Tafoya says hi. Hi, Jamie. Oh, for a second, let's talk a little bit about, he's one of the people that is working on a project. Jamie's putting together.
Oh, we met.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah. We met. I talked to him last week, I think it was, or the week before he did his press release. So yeah, no, definitely working with him, in the know, here to help, whatever I can do.
Yeah. Yeah. We're giving support wherever we can, because he's a filmmaker that has contributed a lot to the region. And now, after recovering from a stroke and coming back, he's telling that story in a way that's very personal. And I look forward to seeing what he's going to create. I think it's going to take, a while, like all these things do.
Yeah.
But yeah, kudos to you and to Jamie and to anybody that is putting something together right now that is eventually going to be what we're all talking about.
Yeah.
And so, have there been any updates or changes when it comes to COVID precautions? I know that we started opening up and going back into it, and are we going from rigid to loose, or what are you seeing there?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was like June of this year that when we went from like doing the colors or whatever to just, remember when we dropped I can't remember that, when the governor did that, at that point, everything pretty much opened up and we dropped our COVID restrictions completely. We started at 25 cast and crew, we went up to 50. And then at that point, we're unlimited now. So as big a crew as can safely be done. We asked that, obviously, that they're following the state, federal, and county guidelines. But the county doesn't have any additional regulations on film in Sacramento County. So we're good there. We do ask that, they follow the guidelines and the back to work safely, guideline, and all of that stuff is on our website that you can check out. But it's mostly, a lot of people that have been coming through, depending on the size of the project, require testing or proof of vaccination. And then, at the minimum level, they're just taking temperatures every day, recording it all, asking the however many 14 questionnaire every single day. Have you been in contact with anybody? Just like you would, when you go to the doctor or something. But, no, I think we're continuing, to do it safely. And I don't see us slowing down. I really don't. I mean, I think we'll slow down for the holidays, but I think that, it's really going to pick up even more in the first part of next year. So. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so ready for the lifting of the clouds in so many areas. And I want to touch really just closely on what's happened just this week with gun safety on set. And but I know that is something that so many people assume so much about when you're, even if you're not the one handling the gun on set. What are your thoughts on that? Because I mean, I know what mine are, but
well, I just think it's tragic. I mean, I don't know. I'm trying not to rush to judgment. There's an investigation. I'm going to leave it to the people to investigate. And it'll come out, and hopefully through this all, sets will be safer. And, it's just tragic that a life was lost because of it. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel like this year has just been crazy. I mean, for me personally, it's like, I went through, my husband had COVID, the fires, and I lost my brother to an overdose. And it's like, then there's an accident on set, and it's just like, when is it going to end? So for me, I think honestly, like, I just, it breaks my heart, because I know, like I said in my post, that, and I know that, here's the thing I probably everybody should know, is that so my Facebook page is really just my family and friends. And so don't take it personal if I don't friend you. Please go friend the Film Sac page. But anyway, I did share on there that it could have been, I have so many friends that work behind the camera, in Los Angeles and New York, that it could have been any of them. And I think that this community just sort of all went, ugh, it could have been us, it could be any one of us any day. And it just hurts. Like, I could cry right now. Like, it's emotional, because, so tragic. And yeah, like I said, I mean, I'm not going to rush to judgment and say, oh, they would have done this or that. And it's like, I that's not my job. I'm just saying, I'm here for the community. If you need to talk, want to talk, like, I feel like this is something that, I mean, it can't just be me, and I'm not even on set every day. There must be other people who have these emotions and feelings about it. And if you want to talk to somebody, I'm here. Just call me. Like, I will talk to anybody and everybody about it. I want you to know that you're supported. And I definitely felt this way. And it was extremely emotional for me. So, but like I said, I mean, I had a shit of a year. So this was just like one more thing. I was like, no. So it's just terrible. And I don't mean to bring my stupid stuff into it, but I'm just saying that, like, I think for all of us, mental health is like, we've got to make sure that we're taking care of each other, and we've got to check in on each other. And if I can say anything tonight, it's that this affected me, and it makes me want to cry, and it scared the crap out of me. And so if any of you feel like that, just know you're not alone, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's, I mean, any horrible tragedy, if nothing else, the lessons that come from that, that everyone will remember because of what just occurred are still not worth what occurred,
No.
But sometimes it's the most horrible tragedies that really make the most impact and stick with people.
Mm-hmm.
Even those who think that, they know better, or they know it all.
Mm-hmm.
In general, if you're working with somebody that really thinks they know it all, get off that set.
Yeah.
That's not the place to be. You want everybody to be safe and everybody to be prepared. And yeah, guns are tricky. Guns and stunts. I don't know why people even mess around with that. It's just
I had a reporter reach out to me and ask for contacts for armorers that he could speak to, just to, sort of get familiar with how it works and what normally works on a set and that kind of thing. So I did put him in touch with a couple people, thanks to Jessica Lapin, that she was able to put me in touch with a couple people. So, but yeah, obviously it's not my area of expertise. I spent very little time on set. I was always in the production office. So, like I said, but I do have a ton of friends that are in this here in Sacramento. How many of those people are right there behind the camera, and it's scary. It's really scary.
And trusting. We're all so trusting that the people that are supposed to do their job are doing their job, so that everybody can perform the way that they're expected to.
Mm-hmm.
One weird glitch in anything, a director that's maintaining a shot on a train track, and the, PA gets, offed in that environment. And there's so many things that can take place. And
it's a dangerous business. I mean, that's why insurance is so expensive to get, I mean, it is a dangerous business. And I think people forget that that's why we have unions, you know? I mean, that's why we have these organizations that I mean, take care of their workers and demand things like, you know, better pay and less hours and, you know, everything that the IATSE was asking for, you know? I mean, they have every right to fight for their safety and their sanity, and, you know, so we'll see what happens there, but
yeah, well, I think it's going to be, you know, high on the list of awareness, and all of us should just work to keep it there.
yeah,
You know, now that it's gotten there, let's
right.
make sure that we're following through with that. But
Mhm.
yeah, I'm excited because I'm hearing of production taking place, people that are working to, you know, bring more production here.
Mhm.
There's a lot of really positive vibes that have been created.
Well, and I will share with you that I won't go into specifics, but I am also working with an action committee that is some pretty big names that either came out of Sacramento or who have relocated here to the area, and I'm going to be working with them hopefully over the next few months to just sort of develop like what's the next stage of incentive. Like, you know, it's sort of like me being able to ask them, okay, you're at the 30,000 foot level, you're shooting these films all the time, huge budgets, what's it going to take for you to come film in Sacramento? Like, I know it's all about the money, but what else? Like, you know, so it's going to be a real education for me and help me develop the next round of incentive that hopefully will be even more impactful. I think my first focus was I really wanted the money, much like the CARES Act grant, or yeah, the CARES Act grants that we put out in 2020. We wanted it to go straight to the people, right, to the individuals. And so this was another way for me to sort of do that, is like, okay, well, at least with the little money I was given, I can, you know, get it into the pockets of a few filmmakers here in Sacramento that, you know, are going to do great projects, I know. So that's where we start, right? It's a pilot program, get it to the people that need it, that want to tell awesome stories. The next step in meeting with this action committee is just developing what it looks like moving forward. You know, what does it look like in 2 years from now, or 5 years from now, or 10 years from now? So that's going to be really exciting. There should be a lot of great stuff that comes out of that.
That's where I really get fuzzy, is when it's thinking how far in advance and what will it look like then. Because, you know, we started with virtually nothing, and
Yeah.
so, you know, being able to recognize where it could go and how it could go, but we
Mm-hmm.
have so many opportunities, and I think things will, you know, definitely continue to grow. The work that you're doing, the work that I know other professionals in the industry are doing. We're working to, you know, help find our place to bring it all together and give the showcase to those who should get it. And together, you know, I guess it's a matter of, you know, make it work. Are in your action committee or in other endeavors that you've had, are you working outside of the Sacramento County to work with outside of air regions as well? Is that something that's part of your?
Yeah, I mean, so as far as the action committee, it is, you know, people that are in LA and San Francisco, New York, whatever, and some people locally. But you know, there's a lot of things that I want to do, like working, you know, once they hire for Beverly's position in Placer County, then, you know, me and Kathleen and whoever they hire can all come together again and really then also strategize just for our region. Okay, do we want to do a regional incentive? You know, I want to do things like, we have 7 different permitting bodies in Sacramento County, and it's like, I want to make sure that we're all doing the same thing, like we're all requiring the same thing, right? And so I've got to work with those other offices that don't necessarily have a film office, they have a business office, right? And that's how they do their permitting. And you know, so I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page with what we're requiring, so that it's not so, you know, it just makes it easier for a filmmaker to come and shoot, you know. yeah, if we can just sort of consolidate and get everybody on the same page in the area, that would be great. And then stepping it up to, the tri-area film commissions working together, to see if we can't create something there to do cross marketing and all of that good stuff. I mean, we just haven't. It's been insane. Like, I don't, I talked to Kathleen, but I've only met her once in person. Once. Like, that's it. So, we haven't been able to go to any of these industry associations that we go to. I did go to Long Beach for a board meeting for Flicks, film liaisons in California State, but that's it. Like, I got to meet maybe 5 to 7 of my colleagues. But yeah, so it's been frustrating that I'm not able to make these connections and really like put our heads together more and say, let's do something, and let's do something big for the region. It'll get there. There's lots to do. Trust me, there's lots to do.
Yeah. Any thoughts of expanding your office any further in this coming year?
I don't think so. I don't think there's a plan for that right now, but I do have support from Megan Van Voris, my boss, to, when it gets to the point that I am completely buried and need the help and support, then, we may expand at that point. I do think that it's one of those things where, like, I have to prove myself, right? Like, I have to prove that, like, I have brought more film here than it was in the past, that I am being successful, that I have been able to, tick all of these things off the 5-year plan. And then look at, okay, well, if we were able to hire somebody, what does that free me up to be able to do? Right. So I think it's like down the road for sure. But I think like right now we're starting with the internships, and hopefully I'll get a lot of support on a daily, if not a couple times a weekly basis, where they can help me with the actual permitting so that I can focus on all the other stuff.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, it will grow. I know the office is going to grow for sure. Obviously it makes sense. The more film you have, you're going to need more people to support that. So it'll happen. And I think that there's been some restructuring too in our department. When I started, we were a department of 7, and then we got my boss, and then we lost somebody else, and now we're losing somebody else at the first of the year. And it's like, so there's just like right now there's a lot of turnover, and not turnover, but restructuring of our division.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, exciting stuff.
Yeah, I kind of love that you had to get in there and create a sandbox and build it from scratch, and do every job, because you're more prepared to really understand how to shape it and who to bring in by knowing it from the ground up. So
for sure. And that's everything. That's any job I've ever done, is like, I have to know everything. It's not necessarily a control freak issue. It's just I want to know what I'm doing. And it's funny because I had an interview with Cap Radio last week.
I heard you.
And I remember it was so funny because I remember my early interviews, like early on, I was just like, like, and so nervous. I would like totally pit out sweating every time I had to talk to somebody. But, but it's one of those things. It's like, I know this job now, it's like, I know it better than anyone. So why wouldn't I want to talk about it and get the information out there? So I still get some anxiety when I have to do those, but it's not like it was in the beginning. So thankfully I was a hot mess. Me in public speaking, forget it. I just fear that I'll get up in front of people, turn bright red, and then like faint.
I know. Well, I think you were one of the last speakers or people that we introduced in our live meetings, and one of the first that we threw into a webcast with the other film officers, the other film commissioners.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, we'll have to do that again.
I know.
But yeah, we're happy. We love you. You know that.
Oh, thank you. I love you guys too. I'm here.
Yeah, well, we're here for you too, so you know that in every capacity. And
oh my God, everyone is so incredibly
so you know how to use it.
Yeah. And I mean, everyone's so supportive here. I mean, the first thing anybody ever says when I like email me for the first time or whatever, it's like, how can I get involved? What can you do? What do you need? You know, how can we help you? It's been great. We have a phenomenal community. So
Yeah,
it's
we
awesome.
do. I'm proud of what we're creating here, and I'm proud that you have you and the work that you're doing, because if we'd have hired a loser, I'd have hung my head. So
Nobody would have hired a loser, Lori. Come on.
oh my God. No, this is great. And again, you know, the read up on the grant, go to the website, find out information. Contact Jennifer if you have any questions about anything, because she either knows how to answer it or she knows who to have you talk to.
Yeah, and like I said, I was trying to get a point. My point across in the beginning was that your questions help me like make it make sense. Like it's a live document, you know, like I can go in and make changes and make it easier to understand. And so the more questions I get from the community about how is, you know, I don't understand this part, then that helps me make it more clear for everybody. So I welcome all of those comments and questions. And
When does the filming have to take place
it
before?
has to take place within 180 days. So it's basically 6 months. So once you're awarded the grant, we really want you to be starting production before 6 months, ideally before that, because in order for us to get back the metrics from the grant to say it works, like we want it to happen soon. So my suggestion is, you know, you've got your funding, you're ready to go, apply for the grant before you start, and, you know, and go from there. We really want it. It isn't something that, you know, we want you to be like, oh, well, I have access to this money, and then you're using that to try and do the rest of your fundraising. Like,
Mhm.
we really want we want this to be added to what you've already got, you know, to just get you over that hump or to get you to the finish line kind of thing.
So we'll just wait and see if there's any opportunity for it to be extended or
Yeah.
re-upped. I think my only, you know, thoughts are, again, we're going into that slow weather related kind of production time.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah, but so like if you
it's
know, if the 4
hard.
people get awarded, you know, this one or 5 people with the post grant, you know, in November or the end of November, then we've got a couple of weeks to go through all the applications. Then, you know, we'll be awarding it maybe before the end of the year, if not at the first of the year. And then, you know, you've got that and you can bank on that money. So
Yeah, that's cool. I'm just really
yeah.
excited that we actually
Yeah.
have
We
it.
have an incentive, Lori.
You gave birth to it. I'm so excited. I feel like the midwife.
It's amazing. I'm just so proud that it's finally here. I'm so proud of my boss for fighting for, you know, the 6,700, whatever it is, you know, additional that she fought to get me for this incentive, you know. And I mean, my goal is I want more next year and the year after that and the year after that. So more money that we can just put back into our community.
Well, you're going to have so much more anecdotal information to lend
Yeah.
to that next year, and the input from your task force,
Right.
who, you know, I'm sure is going to help guide for what comes
Yeah.
next.
Exactly. Yep.
Not to mention
Yeah.
just influence, you know, people that have ties to the community and abilities to influence anybody anywhere. Those are good people to know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you go. Again,
right.
everybody, if you want information, and if you want to hit Jennifer up with any questions, do so. You've got people that are just saying hi, and you're doing a great job. And no hard questions, but I think that that's part
Okay.
of reminding people to look at this and seeing what the timeline is, and don't miss that. You know,
Right.
November 30th to apply.
Yeah, so we've got the next round is a little bit longer. This one was just like we needed to get it out, we need to get it done this first round, so it is super quick. So go on there, you know, look and see what you're going to need to have. I would say apply as, you know, as soon as you can if you're ready to go. And then the next deadline is February 15th, and the one after that is May 15th. So, there definitely are 2 more rounds coming behind this one, but even if you're close, I would say apply. If you think you're going to be filming within the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's super good to know.
And then if you don't get the grant in that round, apply for the next round, for the next round, like learn, maybe why you didn't get it or what you need to do to be more successful in getting granted. So,
yeah.
But thanks for letting me come on, Lori. I really appreciate it.
Come on. Where else are you going to go? Happy to have you here. Happy to be able to catch up with you.
Yeah.
I don't think I brought up anything that I shouldn't have.
Never inappropriate, Lori.
And I'm so glad that your cabin did not burn down. That made me very happy. I was really worried about that.
Me too, my poor little cabin. Everything else around it's gone, but oh well, it's still sitting there. And we have no water. Our water sources kind of are iffy, but anyway, white privilege, right? I mean,
yeah, I
it's
know.
ridiculous.
First world
So,
problem.
yeah. Anyway.
All right, we'll have another retreat up there sometime soon. That was a lot of fun.
Sounds good.
Have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Else, thank you for watching. And you know that Jennifer is your advocate in Sacramento for anything film related. And if we can't help you, she can help you. And if she can't help you, we can help you. So either way, we're going to find a way to put it together and help you guys do what you need to do. So thanks again. And we will catch you. Come back again on November 9th to talk to Alex Greenlee, learn about what this young dude is doing. He's really incredible. Thanks, everybody.